When we think about a leader, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably someone giving big speeches, someone with a powerful title, right? But what if real leadership is quieter than that? What if it's found not in how much power you have, but in a simple act of character? Let's dive into that idea.
So yeah, what really makes a true leader? Is it just the job title, the corner office, or is it something deeper? We're about to explore a story that gives a very different kind of answer, one that isn't about a grand statement, but about a small, quiet action.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The holy prophet and his companions, they're on a long journey, traveling through the desert. It's been a tough ride, and they finally decide it's time to stop, get off their mounts, and just make camp for a bit.
Everyone's tired and hungry, so the first order of business is, naturally, food. They decide to prepare a meal together. It's a group effort from the start. Everyone needs to eat, so everyone needs to chip in. The plan? Prepare a goat for dinner.
And just like that, the work gets divided up. There's no big meeting, no hesitation. One companion immediately says, "I'll slaughter the animal." Another chimes in to handle preparing the skin, and the third volunteer steps up to do the cooking. It's this beautiful, instant flow of teamwork.
So, you've got the main jobs covered. Slaughtering, skinning, cooking. All claimed, which kind of leaves you wondering, right? What's left to do? And more to the point, what is their leader, the prophet, going to do? What's a leader's job in a moment like this?
And then we get his answer. It's not a command, he doesn't delegate. He just makes a simple statement of what he's going to contribute. He chooses one of the most basic, fundamental tasks there is, gathering the wood for the fire. He says he'll go out and collect it himself.
His companions? Well, they react instantly. You can almost hear them all saying it at once. And their reaction? It comes from a place of deep respect and love for him. They just can't imagine letting their leader do manual labor while they're standing right there. For them, it's an honor to serve him.
You have to understand their perspective. In their world, a leader's status set them apart. It meant they were exempt from the day-to-day chores. For them, doing the work for him while he rested, well, that was the ultimate sign of respect. It was just how things were done.
But his idea of leadership was something else entirely. It wasn't about being put on a pedestal, and his reply was about to completely reframe what it means to be a leader for everyone listening that day.
First, he acknowledges them. He says, hey, I know you guys could get this done in a second. He validates their ability. But then he delivers the lesson. He gently explains that being special isn't about being better than others. It's about being among them, as a friend, as an equal.
And that was it. The lesson wasn't just in what he said, but what he did next. He didn't wait for another argument. He simply turned, walked out into the woods, gathered up an armful of firewood, and came back to add it to the pile. He walked the talk, literally.
This story really lays out two totally different ways of looking at leadership, doesn't it? On one hand, you have the standard model, leadership based on status and authority. That leader expects to be served, they're separate from the group, and their power comes from their title. But then you see what the prophet showed us, leadership as service and humility. That leader chooses to contribute, they're part of the group, and their real strength comes from their actions.
So I think this helps us land on a much clearer definition of what true leadership is all about. It's not about giving orders. It's a deep commitment to shared responsibility. It's about believing that no task is beneath you and that every single contribution has equal value.
It's really amazing, right? This one small moment, collecting firewood, teaches us so much. First, that leadership is what you do, not what you're called. Second, that humility is the bridge that connects you to your team. Third, that real strength isn't about your status, it's about your willingness to serve. And finally, that none of this works without equality. It's the bedrock of any great team.
And if you take away just one thing, maybe it's this. The best leaders aren't looking for the perks of the job. They're not asking, what can I get? They're looking for ways to give. It's a total shift in mindset, from seeking privilege to seeking opportunities to contribute.
So, this story from long ago leaves us with a question that's very much for today. In our own lives, whether it's at work, with our families, or in our neighborhoods, what's our version of the firewood? Where is that simple task we can pick up, not because we have to, but because we choose to contribute?